What's up, hungry ones? Welcome to Quarter Munchers Livecast. I am Johnny.
And I am the only Mitch.
And the putting the glasses on was a I should not have showed you that fucking video. And switch.
God damn it. I'm gonna take this and make it do that so much. You have no idea. I mean, with the sunglasses, I was like, what's, it's just so perfectly douchebaggy. Like,
make you full screen. There we go. All right, Mitch fits.
I wear my sunglasses at night so I can.
Hey, to be fair, in a half hour, it will be morning. At least here. It'll be midnight and
still be dark out.
And?
It's the point is you wear your sunglasses in. Never mind it.
Dude, my friggin' my spotlight is up here. That hurts. But
yeah. Anyway,
so we are back after a couple-week hiatus. I am not done with the project that I was working on, but I am enough to where I can work on both Quarter Munchers, and I'm still not 100% sure I'm allowed to talk about it, but still working on it. It's still a thing. Trust me, I will hype the ever-living daylights out of it when it happens.
Hooray.
Nevertheless, we are back. Our Let's Plays are back. The first one went up this past Friday of Hyper Light Drifter.
Oh, yeah.
And after the session that we had this past Friday, you guys are going to like where Mega Man X is going.
Oh, yes.
It's so good when I revisit the footage like a day later and went, wow, that was actually funny. I should have laughed more. Like, things that I said, I was like, wow, I actually held it together. I'm getting good at this kind of shit. But we are back. Sorry for the disappearing. Hope those of you that I met at Flower City Comic-Con are sticking around. Thanks for joining us. Slam that follow button right down below. Hit the subscribe on YouTube. Hit us up on all of our social media outlets. Without further ado, let's just jump right into the news this week. And the first thing we have to talk about is a trailer that I am so unbelievably fucking excited for.
Oh, dude, yeah. Also, I like the pro level fucking pushing the brand. You're getting good at this whole thing.
It's I'm finally settling into it after like a year. Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's almost like we've been doing this for a year. It's weird,
right? It's it's really weird. Like I gone back and watched like our early videos, like between like ones that me and like Suzanne were doing of Honeycam Studios, and it's like dead air for 3 minutes, and I'm like, just fucking say something. Wait, that's me that I'm yelling at.
Yeah, I'm afraid to go look back at those. I do not. I don't want to know.
Everyone had to start somewhere.
But yeah. So new trailer, exciting news.
New freaking trailer. So after everyone was kind of wondering when, and this is about the season where we're all going to find out what's coming out, when it's coming out, and how bad our wallets are going to hurt in September. Well, we got the official... What's that?
Oh, we're in the lead up to E3.
Yes.
Got to get those like preemptive, like this isn't going to get enough traction at E3 type announcements out right now, I guess.
Right.
Like if we show this at E3, it's going to get buried under the next Assassin's Creed, another Call of Duty, or Madden, or whatever. Fucking more God of War footage, probably. So we're like, hey, check this out right before E3. Playable build, playable demo at E3. Check it out. Hey, Sega.
Yeah, but without further ado, the pre-order trailer for Sonic Mania.
Rated E for everyone.
With mild cartoon violence. I prefer mine caliente, but, you know.
I love the start to this. Like, it's very Don Hertzfeldt.
Oh, yeah. That's not how I would characterize it exactly, but sure. I do like the sketchy sort of animation, though.
Well, like, when it was drawn the outline, it did seem very, very similar to like the way Hertzfeldt drew Rejected.
Yeah, that's true. Just, you know, the tone of the content is decidedly deep. And look at this! Fucking old stages, new stages, old stages remixed into new stages. Fucking Sonic, Tails, even Knuckles. He doesn't chuckle, he'd rather flex his knuckles. But, and they...
Climb, slide, and punch 2.
Yeah. A new adventure begins. Oh, I love this. The 1, 2, 3, the K for Knuckles, and now Mania. Completely just ignoring the fact that 4 ever happened.
Yeah.
Although I guess technically it also ignores Sonic Advance and like Sonic Rush, which those were actually pretty good games, but they're mobile, so they don't count. Yeah, digital pre-order now available. Coming out on what, August 11th? I want to say.
15th,
I saw somewhere.
Hold up. Yeah, 15th. There it is.
Oh, 15th. That's right. Yeah, digital pre-order.
Now available
yeah,
at.
This trailer.
Go ahead.
Oh man, just that shot, that last shot of the elevator is like straight out of Sonic the movie, aka the 2 or 3 or 4 episode OVA that got cut down into a movie for American audiences.
Yeah.
Like everything about it takes me back. Like the style of just having like the sketchy, you know, back of your notebook kind of artwork and the animation, and obviously the music and the game itself are very old school. But man, just they nailed like the classic Sonic tone throughout that whole thing.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I love the most about this is, like, I'm a sucker for sprite art and the art of, you know, animating sprites like that. And it's so super smooth. Like, it's like going from the Capcom Play System 2 with, like, Super Street Fighter 2 to Third Strike. Where, like, the animation was really, really fluid.
Yeah, no, I know they redid all of the actual main character sprites. Like Sonic sprite is completely new. So I think Tails and Knuckles are also like brand new for this game. New animations, more animations than, you know, the classic games had. Like Sonic's actually a slightly this is getting like super nerdy, but Sonic's actually like a slightly different color in this game than he was in the classic games. I think he's a little bit lighter blue. Just kind of around the highlights, like, you know, sort of the highlighted areas of his head, and then he's like a little bit darker around the shadows. Just little stuff. Yeah, like
I tried
his forehead's like a little lighter. Oh man, going around that. Oh, it looks so good.
with the ghosting trails, like and like just look at
God.
It really adds like that 3D element. Like, here, let me bring this up full screen for the hungry ones. There
like it adds just a little bit more like 3-dimensional definition. Because they shaded his sprite just a little more. They gave him a little more brightness in like the highlighted areas. It's just really good. They did a really good job so far with what I've seen of this game. It looks awesome.
This is where I'm going to say, Capcom, look, the fans are making better games than you are. Yeah. Take a note from this.
Yeah.
Not to
I mean, Sega's smart. They saw the fan games, and they're just like, you know, we could probably publish this, and all those furries would buy it. And maybe even like it.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, they already caved on the high-def Sonic game they're making with the create a character mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. They know. They fucking know. Like, everybody just wants to be their, you know, Jason the Hedgehog. Or fucking, you know, Scourgebat the Hedgewolf. Or whatever the fuck, you know, OC Do Not Steal character they want to be. Sega's finally like, you know what? Fuck it. Just let it happen. We can't. We give up.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah. So Sonic Mania looks really fun and sweet and enjoyable, and I'm probably just gonna like the day that game comes out. I'm gonna get like a fucking. Do they still make all berries, crunch berries? Oops, all berries.
No, I don't.
I'm gonna get like
think...
9 boxes of crunch berries cereal. This is getting really complex, but like a week beforehand, I'm gonna get 9 boxes of fucking Captain Crunch, filter out the berries, make myself a box of Captain Crunch Oops All Berries cereal, and like I'm gonna get some of those like oh god, the sour punch straws, you know, like the gummy straws that have like the fucking
those I know they still
oh
make.
Man. If I can get some of that Resurgence Surge, the remanufactured Surge that Amazon came out with a while ago, I might get some of that. I'm just gonna 90s it up and just sit down on the floor of my fucking bedroom, like throw out the chairs, sit on the floor in front of my goddamn TV, and just eat the goddamn crunch berries straight out of the box. Ah. You know, do with that what you will. Gift that, internet.
I was about to say that was both suggestive and descript at the same time.
Yeah,
I feel like you're going to do about
it.
the same thing that with this that I did when Mega Man 9 came out. Like I remember like when Mega Man 9 fired up and I heard like the first like 8 like the sound chip noises. I went I started like welling up. I'm like, wow. I feel like I should have like the bowl of ice cream, or like I remember I used to like sit at night with like the carton of ice cream and a spoon, and like the spoon in my button hand along with the controller. It's like stop.
Oh yeah.
And of course it was the 8-bit Nintendo controller, so you're like this. I mean,
yeah.
It's not like the Switch
how
where you're
far
like
we
this.
have come. Oh, the Switch.
So yeah, Sonic Mania.
Actually, that reminds me.
Oh, go ahead.
Other new story. There's a new trailer for Indivisible. Because that game just got announced for the Switch. How did I not link that? I'm fucking like super hype about this game. And it actually shows some new-ish content. Now, breaking news, because I forgot to link Johnny a story. New Indivisible trailer.
Yeah, well, you did link me something related to Lab Zero, which we'll get into in a second.
That's the other... It's kind of a double whammy with Lab Zero. A triple whammy, even, this week. There's a lot of Lab Zero stuff going on lately.
So yes, let's go. Let's cut to the trailer for Indivisible, which I'm actually really excited about this too. Now that I've played the prototype that's out there.
Yeah. No, I was very, very pleased with the prototype. I'm really looking forward to this game. It's official. Indivisible's coming to Switch because it's a game you could run on a toaster. Sorry, Nintendo. I love you guys, but
there's platforming.
I feel like Nintendo. Yeah, it's what's the game? Valkyrie Profile, I think.
Yeah,
is the main inspiration for Indivisible. Just sort of a weird mix of like Metroidvania and turn-based RPG. Also, there's a golem, like a somewhat mythologically accurate golem, which is kind of interesting. Showing off some of the characters. A lot of these showed up all the way back in the original prototype demo, but there's a couple that I think they've been working on since the Indiegogo that show up in this, which is pretty cool. And I think some new monsters show up in here as well. But yeah, it's cool that this game's coming to the Switch. This is the kind of game that I like, weird sort of niche-y indie off the beaten path type titles. So I'm glad the Switch is at least getting some of this stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of people are... There's not a lot of faith at this moment from what I've seen, for people to think that the Switch is going to get parity, with the other consoles and PC in terms of major games. It's going to be like the Wii again. A lot of people think, where the Wii got these weird sort of not dumbed down, but like cut down, trimmed, simplified sort of versions of games.
Yeah, like when Marvel Ultimate Alliance came out, they got a completely different version of the game than
Yeah,
PS3 and 360.
and I think the same thing happened with like Sonic Unleashed. For what that's worth,
But we don't talk about the dark times.
Yeah. Oh, those were the darkest of days. But yeah, so Indivisible coming to the Switch.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm obviously won't get it on a Switch because I don't have one, and I toy with the idea of buying it, but everything that I want to play on it is either on other systems or doesn't merit buying a whole new console to play.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. I mean, I've got Zelda. That's the only killer app for me right now, and I imagine I'll probably buy a Switch eventually, like next year after, if it's on sale or something.
Yeah, like that might be,
if stores ever stock it enough for it to be on sale.
Yeah, like I might, like that might be my tax misgift next year.
Yeah.
Like when I get my tax rebate check.
I'm sure. Yeah, with games like Indivisible and hopefully other kind of independent, semi-indie, smaller niche titles coming. Hopefully it'll find a foothold. I mean, people are buying them as fast as they can make them. As fast as Nintendo can steal the parts from Apple to make, their somewhat identical device.
Right.
Because apparently that's a thing. Like, the Switch uses a lot of parts that are also used in either, like, iPads or iPhones. And so Nintendo and Apple are both competing over, like, a limited supply of this stuff. But, yeah, so in other Lab Zero news, the final true ultimate patch for Dark Soul... Not Dark... What the fuck?
Wow.
Dark SkullGirls. The final true ultimate patch for SkullGirls came out on June 2nd. Fucking 2 days ago. Friday.
Yeah.
Ugh. I've got the Steam notes. Yeah, we got the Steam patch notes up here. Written by Mike Z himself. It's been a long time, Lenneth. Which I think is the main character from Valkyrie Profile.
I think you're right.
Basically, it's not really a huge patch. It fixed a bug with the character select... or it fixed a disconnect bug that happened on the character select screen in online play. And they re-enabled the Salt character when you win a game with Squiggly's level 5, whatever that is. And they added some debug options for replays. It's mostly small stuff.
And he does thank Main 6 for discovering the bug about the
apparently the Them's Fightin' Herds found the character select screen bug. So props to those guys.
Yeah, that's another one that it's currently in beta right now. If you backed the Kickstarter ages ago, they're hoping for a June release. So I'm hoping for a June release also.
Oh shit, that's this month.
Yes, it is.
Just in time to be like 3 years late to cash in on that brony trend.
Yeah.
Apparently, I guess that's like kind of calmed down a lot over the last few years. But so yeah, this even though there was like that little cartoon that was like the final goodbye to SkullGirls, when they got the final piece of DLC out, it's a nice little send off for the PC and console versions of SkullGirls to just get that last little like we fixed everything we could. Good luck, everyone.
Yeah, so
fortunately, though, it's not the true final end for SkullGirls ad hoc as a whole, because recently the SkullGirls mobile game came out at some point in the last couple months, I guess.
I want to say
so. Yeah, you can
that.
What?
We talked about that.
Yeah, I think the last time we talked about it, it was still in development or like in alpha or something. It was pretty early on
Huh.
because it was before you could sign up. I think it was when they announced the closed beta that you could sign up for.
Oh yeah.
Was when we talked about it,
Excuse me.
and then I forgot about it for however long, and now you can play it on one of these, or rather with one of these. It's a cell phone, just to make sure nobody's. Why is he holding up a blue rectangle?
Yeah, I can hold up a blue rectangle too. It's just, oh shoot!
That
I can hold
you
it
have
up too. But nope. Anyway,
oh man, yeah. So SkullGirls mobile game, it exists. I've played a little bit of it.
the last
It's a mobile game.
yeah, it's because the last time I tried to play a fighting game on my phone was it was called the Amory Wars, which was it's the lore that surrounds all of Coheed and Cambria's albums, with the exception of the most recent one.
Huh.
And it was a fighting game based on that whole story. So
Interesting.
it's cool, but the problem is like when I'm playing with like anything that has a D-pad, I need like the tactile like feeling of pushing a button,
Oh.
and it throws me off.
Yeah. So basically, the SkullGirls mobile game is interesting. It it definitely it wants you to think it's a fighting game. I'm not sure there's actual like online competitive. And it's got a really novel, like I think actually for what it is, it's got a really clever control scheme. Basically, there's no movement at all. You don't control character movement. Well, you can make your character dash forward, but basically the characters on screen will automatically like close from like half a screen apart or whatever, starting to within poking range essentially.
Right.
And it just becomes kind of a like I don't think there's even like low and high block. It's just sort of a rock paper scissors between like block, attack, special, and like throw. So movement is super simplified. You don't even have to worry about jumping. That's all automated. You pretty much just have to worry about like tactically, when you want to attack, when you want to guard, throw, etc. Like I said, I don't think there's online competitive. It's almost more like an action RPG than a fighting game, really.
Huh.
Um,
I wonder if they could use that as a litmus test for like the combat for Indivisible. Not that much.
Maybe there's a little bit of like real time sort of, actiony reflex based stuff in Indivisible from what I remember, but I don't know if it would really. I guess maybe, they could just have tried some things out, but I think the thing about the SkullGirls mobile game is it seems to be developed by a different company. Like I'm sure Lab Zero was very much involved, but there was another company that may have, now that I think about it, probably handled like the making, Z Engine run on mobile kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But so basically the main thrust of the game is it's kind of like, I guess, what's the one? Puzzle and Dragon, or, a lot of those sort of RPG
Puzzle
games
Quest
that have come out. Yeah, puzzle fighting type games. Fire Emblem comes to mind. Basically, any mobile game where you collect stuff, and that's kind of your main drive.
Yeah.
This one, you collect characters, moves, and like characters, special attacks, and supers. Basically, you fight, you earn credits, you spend the credits, and you get these relics, which will unlock a random character, move, or super combo for you, basically. And that's the main gameplay loop. Is you start out with like, I think you get. Actually, I don't know if you get Peacock. I started out with Peacock. I got Big Band randomly, and I think I got somebody else randomly initially to start my 3-character team. But it could assign you completely random characters from the get-go. I'm not really sure. But like, there's a story mode that's kind of interesting that doesn't really have anything to do with the actual SkullGirls story mode, but it's got, you know, the characters, a lot of the side characters. I'm sure a lot of stuff, you know, fans will appreciate. You know, it maintains like the characterization that's established, you know, in the original game,
Yeah.
to some degree at least. Valentine's a lot nicer than I would expect her to be, but maybe she has ulterior motives. So yeah, you know, it's reasonably fun. You know, I'm not gonna sit, in my fucking room and play it, you know, just like this by myself for hours and hours. But you know, if I'm riding in a car, taking a dump or whatever,
Yeah, like
I'll play a little Skullgirls.
you're stuck in a situation where you really need to pass time.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, Lab Zero's been busy.
Yeah. So glad to see them in the back in the market, looking,
Yeah.
branching out into other markets, and in a way, I'm also glad to see that the Switch is getting some love.
Yeah. I
Um,
guess I would summarize the Skullgirls mobile game as it's a decent mobile game, but it's definitely also a mobile game.
right, and
It is very much a
yeah, if you've ever played anything on a mobile game or on a cell phone, that's exactly the best way to describe it too.
yeah.
So,
But
speaking
yeah.
speaking of stories that were forgotten to link, I forgot to link this one. Earlier in the week, a fairly reputable source leaked the Marvel vs.
Oh,
Capcom Infinite
yeah.
roster. Um, if it's real, I'm not shocked about a lot of it.
Yeah. I mean, it looks pretty legit just because it's a lot of characters I would have expected.
Right.
Um,
So top to bottom here, let's well, you can't really see that too well, but let's blow it up for you guys. You don't need to see our mugs. So on the
Yeah.
Capcom side, you have Arthur, Chris Redfield, Chun-Li, Dante, which I feel like fans of the series would have crucified them if he didn't put in.
yeah.
Firebrand, Jeddah. Fucking
Yeah,
Jeddah.
I'm hoping that's real. Like, if no one else on this list is real, I'm hoping Jeddah is legit. I would love to see him in this game.
Yes. I would love to see him in anything. I recently, before we get back to this, I have come around to the concept of VSAV or Darkstalkers or whatever the hell you want to call it. It's a fun little game. It's taken me about 10 years to finally concede and say, wow, this is fun. But
Let's
yeah,
like
I like
I
the
mean,
lower.
I think Darkstalkers, I want to say 2 or 3, I can't remember which one, is like Mike Z's favorite game. He made SkullGirls. So,
And I can really see the influence now that I think about it.
yeah.
But so I'm glad to
yeah.
see some of the characters that I love using finally being like, oh hey, these guys still exist.
Yeah, it's not just Felicia and Morrigan again for the 9th time.
Exactly. So yeah, you'd see Jeddah, Mega Man X, which we knew, Monster
Yeah.
Hunter.
I think that's one of the ones I kind of predicted. Mainly just because, I mean, it's one of Capcom's biggest franchises right now.
It's
And I mean, with the character design and world design, you know, the visuals of Monster Hunter would totally work in Marvel. They're not like super gritty and realistic. You know, it's very stylish and colorful, so it'd fit right in. They got to get that cross promotion. I guarantee you there'll be Marvel vs. Capcom DLC for a Monster Hunter game.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Morrigan, as we mentioned, because why not? Nemesis making a return, Ryu, Spencer making a return, and Strider, which we also knew about.
Yeah. Spencer is the fucking Bionic Commando guy, right?
Yes, the bionic arm.
It's made out of his wife.
Wait, what?
Thank you. Yeah, Spencer's fucking bionic arm is like made out of his dead wife. In one of the newer ones, you know, the new one that came out for PS3 or whatever. Not the classic Bionic Commandos. It was like the weird retconned fucking PS3 one, rearmed or whatever.
Oh yeah, or rearm too. Yeah, I still have to finish that because I actually got pretty far in that. But
remembered that.
So that's on the Capcom side. Now to what I thought was very predictable side of Marvel, because they did say that it is going to be very heavily focused on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and just reading off all of these names, it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, is there even a single X-Men? Like, I know Wolverine's not in there, which, is really disappointing to me. Just because he's been in every one of these games.
Right.
He's been in more of these games than Ryu. Fucking Ryu. Yeah.
But you were looking at Ant-Man, Captain America, Captain Marvel, who is the only one not from the cinematic universe right now, by the way.
Yeah.
Because as you go down the list, Doctor Strange, Gamora.
Oh, yeah.
Hawkeye, Hulk, Iron Man, Nova, Rocket Raccoon and/or Groot and/or stuff.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Thanos, Thor, and Ultron.
Yeah.
So
I'm kind of sad that She-Hulk's gone, but I mean, we are still getting a tough Green Lady in Gamora, so
right,
I can deal. Yeah. I think the Marvel side was very predictable. How do I put this? A lot of people, I saw some reactions that people were unhappy that Miss Marvel, God damn it, I always forget her name.
Captain Marvel.
God damn it. The one that everyone's hailing is like, this is the best character Marvel's ever done. Fucking...
Oh, the newest Captain Marvel that's a Muslim American?
Yeah, Kamala Khan. That's really confusing. I'm looking at my fucking Google page here, and there's like Miss Marvel Wikipedia, Miss Marvel Kamala Khan Wikipedia, Miss Marvel Carol Danvers, who is Captain Marvel, incidentally. Is that that's easy to keep straight. But yeah, some people were disappointed that Kamala Khan wasn't, on the main roster, because she's been very popular recently. I'm sure there were, people who were disappointed with some of the Capcom choices. But the thing I think has to be kept in mind for this whole roster reveal is this is the launch roster.
Yes.
Which is a third of what the final roster is going to be, if that. So I'm not sweating it too much that, like, Shuma Gorath isn't in the launch roster. Because I love me some Shuma. I'm weird like that. But
I can never wrap my head around him. But
I mean, as like a playable character, he's definitely weird. He's got charge moves and odd movement and stuff. But he's just a weird giant eyeball in green goo with spikes.
If it's not too much to ask Capcom and/or Marvel, whoever's in charge of sales, etc., would it be too much to ask to bring Blackheart back?
Oh, you mean Ruby Heart?
No, Blackheart.
Oh no, Blackheart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love his character design for Marvel too.
Yes.
He's so sick looking in that game. God, yeah, that'd be amazing if they brought him back. Because he's what, like a Ghost Rider villain?
I have absolutely no idea.
Kind of. I know he's from Hell, so he's probably got Ghost Rider stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, you can even put Ghost Rider in this game and give him a Nicolas Cage skin.
Oh, God, yes. I'll be honest, I kind of... You know what? I like the first Ghost Rider movie. The second one's a pile of trash, but the first one, it's not super good. But there's something novel about...
Yeah.
Like, Nicolas Cage, being Nicolas Cage and also, lighting on fire and riding a motorcycle. It's fun enough, especially considering it came out before Iron Man or, Captain America, the First Avenger, any of those, like, first good Marvel movies. Like, it was reasonably good at the time compared to some comic book movies.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, That's the thing is I know there's going to be like 90 DLC characters, so I just don't really feel that strongly about the launch roster.
Right. That's the one thing that I know a lot of people are that's a big arguing point about this whole situation is, you know, yeah, they're building this like the business model of everything else nowadays, at least in terms of fighting, is that we're gonna have planned 9 new characters throughout the year. Like a lot of things are following the very successful way that Killer Instinct has been handling business for the last 4 years.
Something like that, yeah.
Because it's KI 2013 is what a lot of people call it. So yeah, it would be 4 years. And it's still doing. There's still new characters coming out.
Yeah. Heck, it's changed developers, and there's still new characters coming out.
Yeah, and like the engine, like they're doing so well with that game, and I love it, and I just wish I could get past that skill gap.
Oh man, that reminds me. Did you watch Combo Breaker last weekend?
I did not. I was what was I doing last weekend? Last weekend it was Memorial Day weekend, so we were planting and all sorts of things.
Yeah. I was spraying lacquer on a guitar that I'm working on, so I basically had lots of time to kill in between coats.
Oh god, yeah.
I ended up watching a lot of Combo Breaker weekend, and it was really good. The KI finals were actually really awesome. The last, like, the grand finals match was kind of It was basically there's a guy playing the fiery guy, Pyron. Cinder, that's right. And just zoning out the other player like the whole match.
You can do that.
Which, is whatever. But leading up to that, it was really cool. Fucking Tekken 7 had a really great like top 8. I think somewhere in like the top 16 there was actually a super hype double KO.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah.
Funny you
Combo
mentioned
Breaker
Tekken
was really
7.
good.
So, what?
I thought you had said something.
Oh, I said, speaking of Tekken 7.
Yeah. Speaking of Tekken 7.
Alright, so Tekken 7 came out last Friday. This past Friday, 2 days ago. And Mitch and I did our Mega Man X session. And one of the episodes, he starts praising the living daylights out of Tekken 7. That was after a half an hour playing the game. After 3 hours of the game, he says he sends me a message, quote, "I'm about to full heel turn on this thing." So here's your soapbox. Here's just do what you got to do.
Okay, so imagine me. Don't imagine me. Actually, I'm ugly. Basically, what happened was I played Tekken for 30 minutes on Friday when it came out, and then we did our session. In 30 minutes, I had pre-ordered it. I downloaded the game, booted it up, went into the story mode for half an hour. And that first half hour was really cool. I was like, oh, cool. I get to be Heihachi and Kazuya and, beat up Jack robots. And this is neat. I'm figuring out this game. Okay. I'm starting to learn like how movement works and, how moves work and like what the game's about. you know, the story mode is, especially because it's a cinematic story mode and it shows you like, here's a bunch of different characters. Here's Heihachi, here's Lee, here's Kazuya. Try everyone out. It's a kind of story mode that should really teach you to play the game. You know, it should make a good first impression, right? Like, because there's no tutorial and no other mode except plain boring training, which I don't want to go to fucking training mode to learn to play a game from like step one basic baby steps stuff. You know, I go to training mode to figure out matchup specific knowledge and, you know, work on combos and shit. So the fact that the story mode, like, it should shake your hand and show you, here's what we have to offer. Here's the grandeur of Tekken. Look at that guy. He shoots lasers out of his forehead. Isn't that sweet? And instead, it like crushes your hand, dislocates your wrist, does a hip toss and stomps on your chest. Like, I get it. You know, arcade mode is supposed to be hard in a fighting game. This isn't an arcade mode. It's, oof. Yeah, so I'm really mad at Tekken 7.
And to the point of things being, like, you know, not having a tutorial mode, that at this juncture, because like this is a new, like, I hate you saying it this way, but it's a new age for fighting games.
Yeah,
because all of a sudden there was almost no fighting games for years, and then Street Fighter V came out, and holy shit, there's like 7 of them in the pipeline now.
Yeah.
And all of them come with either like trial modes, or Street Fighter V had a tutorial. You talked about Guilty Gear's tutorial, and that is, every fighting game needs that. Every single one of them.
I mean, even SkullGirls, you know, which needed Kickstarter money from its fans, has a baller tutorial. It's got one of the most highly praised tutorials in fighting games, and that was made by people who lived exclusively on Top Ramen.
Yeah. It is almost unforgivable to not have some kind of a tutorial mode in a modern game. And, I mean, I there's ways to get around babying somebody into the game, because I know that's a complaint that I and a lot of people have with a lot of, you know, games that come out. Like, here, you go through this first section of the game, like Shovel Knight says you need to work on how to do this, but it doesn't tell you how to do it. But at the same time, and I mean, it's actually like, easing you
Street
into
Fighter V, how it forces you to play the tutorial the first time you boot it up. Like,
right.
That's maybe not the best way to, you know, if it was an optional tutorial that you could go to from the main menu after booting the game, that'd be perfect. But, yeah. So you were saying.
But now, the other side of that coin, because I am one of those people that have been playing Tekken for a shit ton of time.
Yeah.
None of the Tekkens obviously have had a trial mode, and really, like, you know, all I've learned is just through like other button mashing, or it does in a way really promote the existence of an FGC, in that you want to learn this game, there is a wealth of people that are you know, sucking this game's dick, that will teach you anything and everything you need to know. Like, Buffalo to their has one of the better Tekken scenes out there, because they all get together and it's like, and if you want to learn the game, they will show you, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. For me, like, I like Tekken just because I like somewhat realistic movements in fighting games, and like, everyone's based off of an actual legitimate martial arts fighting style. It was devoid of a Muay Thai guy for way too long, but it does really promote, like, you want to learn this, find somebody that knows about the game, get to know them, and it's really, like, you know, teaches you along the way, and, like, you learn that way instead of, you know, sitting in front of a game. It does really promote the community aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that, but it's just there's such a, like, lack of anything in the game. And, like, the story mode's just so frustrating. Like I said, it doesn't teach you anything, even basic stuff. It almost keeps you from learning things by giving you the auto combos, and if you hold, I think like L1 or something, it changes your buttons to do special moves, basically.
Oh, okay.
So you don't even have to learn those. And it's just really like it's so goddamn frustrating. It's I cannot tell you how like oh god, like it's the little things. Fucking like every fight, a lot of the fights anyway, have like these sort of cinematic intros that go from like cutscene and transition into gameplay. And it's fine most of the time, except when you're losing over and over and over and over again, and there's like a 15 to 30-second cinematic that's unskippable before you
Oh.
restart the fight. Yeah, it's little stuff like that. One of the later boss characters, I think a couple of the later boss characters actually heal slowly during the fight. So if you don't like rush them down enough, you just can't beat them. Like, and I mean, I get it. It's a game. It's supposed to be hard. Like they made the story mode for Tekken fans, and I can appreciate that. Like it's for the old crusty diehards who want to see the fucking Mishima saga like finished and all that. But I don't know, like it's the fact that even on easy mode, it's like so hard that I almost couldn't beat it. Like I spent solidly like an hour just on the last boss fight, just pounding my head against it, hoping essentially the RNG would be nice enough to let me win the fight for once.
Kind of had to cyberbot your way through it.
Yeah. And I mean, it is what it is. I will admit, like it's really only the main story mode that seems to be super broken. I played around with the individual character stories, which are all just one fight, and those fights didn't seem too bad. Those are way better introductions to the various characters and stuff. But like the main story, just I don't know what they were trying to do with it. Like I'm really frustrated by how like I said, it's the only word I can use really, unwelcoming this game is. Because yeah, like labbing it out, with other people and figuring out like, oh, here's this really great string for Kazuya or whatever. Like that stuff, that's totally cool. I can absolutely appreciate that. It's like I'm not even at the point where fucking I know how strings work. I'll like hit somebody with a move and it'll be a launcher, and then I'll hit him again with the same move and it won't launch, and I won't know why. It's basic stuff. Like I don't know what's a counter hit, like really basic stuff. Like the game just doesn't even try to explain. So I don't know. Like I said, it's a really good fighting game, but man, is it like it's not intended to bring in anyone new at all. And that just seems like a missed opportunity, like a huge missed opportunity to me for Bamco to like, tell people, hey, we're back in the game. We're going to fucking take these Street Fighter punks down, that classic rivalry. And it's like, wow, you guys are really not trying very hard.
Yeah, and that is, I mean, that is a really, really good point about, trying to bring in new bodies. Because, yeah, I think the last 3D fighter that came out was DOA.
Yeah, like that even counts, The last 3D, like the last DOA game to come out was DOA Extreme Beach Volleyball 3, which, they don't even put the beach volleyball part on anymore because fuck it, right?
Because all you do is gamble and just bet it all on 23, Aaron Hansen.
Or 21, Maximilian, dude.
Yes.
Or sorry, that's actually Steve. Or is it Steve? Unruly. Yeah, I think it is Steve. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. Like Tekken Tag 2 was the last, I think, 2D or not 3D fighting game that really like made a splash at tournaments. Like I don't remember DOA ever showing up at Evo.
Yeah,
Tekken Tag I remember from like a few years ago being like a main stage game. But that game came out in like 2012.
The only person that really shows DOA any love is Big E at any of the like Summer Jam or Winter Brawl or any of his tournaments in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He shows
So,
love
yeah, I
in
don't know.
every
It's
fighting game, though.
yeah.
So
So yeah, I don't know. I was left with a really sour taste from Tekken's story mode. Just so fucking cheap. So, SNK boss character-y at the end.
it's like trying to be a quarter muncher, but it's not actually munching anything out of you.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like it's not, I mean, yeah, it was an arcade game for 2 years, but I'm pretty sure the cinematic story mode is new for, the actual console release. And I'm just like, okay, clearly you want this to be hard and frustrating, but fucking why? The only mode I've found so far where like the game is actually kind of reasonable about, making me feel good as a player is Treasure Battle. And that's survival mode. That shit is boring.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's one of those things where like the fighting games are gonna be frustrating. I understand that. The thing is, I should be frustrated and mad and like, freaking out and losing my shit when I'm going online and playing people who've been, into this game for fucking 2 decades and just rock my shit. Like that's, great. Frustrate me then. Make me feel bad about myself as a player then. Don't make me feel bad about myself as a player when I'm 1 hour into the only like thing approximating, a first impression mode that you have. Like that's not going to keep me sticking around to play more of this game. Like the game should make me want to play more of it, and it doesn't. And I see that as a problem.
Yeah. But
so yeah,
anyway,
that's my rant about Tekken 7. Basically, if you weren't already a Tekken player, you're not about to become one. That's pretty much what it comes down to for me. Like
you did touch on Guilty Gear, and that's one thing that we didn't get a chance to talk about because we've been on a hiatus. But Rev 2 came out, Mitch.
Yeah, I'm excited. Now we're talking my game. This fucking game right here, Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2. Hey, Mega Man.
I want to put that. I'm going to find some way to mount this on my mic.
So
that when it's on there, I can...
But yeah. So let's see. Rev 2 came out. It's like 19 or 20. I think it's $19 on Steam right now for the digital upgrade.
Yeah, I think that was the universal price point because I think that's what it is on PSN also.
Yeah, and you can also get like the physical version at stores for PS4 only for $40. If for some reason you didn't have Guilty Gear before, it ends up costing about the same to like buy signed digitally and then get the upgrade, or just get the new like complete PS4 version.
Right.
Also on PS3, if anyone still plays it there, but only as a digital download on PS3.
Right.
Because I'm sure they can see the analytics on their servers, and there's like 5 guys who are still in fucking poverty mode playing it on the old school console. But yeah, so the game came out. Added Answer and Biken, who I finally got around to. Even though there was a demo out and I could have played it in any time, I waited for the game to actually come out to try them out. Biken is interesting. She's a counter-based character now. She still has a lot of her old stuff. And I probably just remember her wrong from X2, but she's really heavy on like counters, and she's got this dash, which I think is new, that she can do a lot of her counter type stuff out of. She's interesting. She's still got the tatami mat and the throw loops and all that good stuff. If you were a Biken player before, she should be pretty familiar. Answer is interesting. I really like his character design, and he looks really cool. Basically, if you were a Bang player in Chrono Fantasy, the Blaze Blue, I can only remember the subtitles now. Apparently,
yeah, that's all anyone ever mentions it as.
Yeah, yeah. If you played Bang in any of the Blaze Blues, Answer will seem pretty familiar. He has a thing similar to Bang's nails that he puts on the screen. He puts on these scrolls that float in the air that have some funny business term on them. He throws business cards instead of shuriken, which he can teleport to. They stick in the ground, and then he can teleport to them and do moves out of the teleport.
Oh, wow.
He's really cool. He has really interesting tools. He's extremely mobile between the teleport and the scroll nail type things. He can, air dash between them, do moves off of them, all kinds of good stuff. And his instant kill is pretty great. He uses ninja blood magic to summon a giant snake that is wearing a necktie, because business, and it eats the opponent. It's fucking cute. But and he spends the entire fight on the phone, and he has dialogue. You can turn like the music and sound effects down and just turn the voice up, and he actually talks on the phone throughout the entire fight. Even when he's in a hit stun animation, he's still fucking talking to people.
That's awesome.
Doing deals, getting business done, arranging to get his fucking dry cleaning picked up and shit. So yeah, Answer's really cool. Sadly he's not exactly my type of character, because he's a little setup-y, kind of like, Venom or Zato, or maybe even Bedman or Ramlethal. He's one of those characters that his game plan is to put stuff on screen and then use it to hurt you.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons that I've really not gelled with the Exard series, is that a lot of the new people, like, that's one of the things that really draws me to new titles of a game. Oh, who did they add? They're all really, like, cerebral playstyle in a game where the pacing is not conducive to cerebral play.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of I think set play is the term for it, where as a player you just kind of have to memorize a lot of the setups, and then just when you're in a match, just execute them. There's not as much, especially with the setup-y, Eddie or Zatos and Venoms. There's not quite as much improvisation and stuff necessarily. That's one thing I will admit. Guilty Gear, a lot of the characters are very gimmicky in that game. A lot of like Zato's whole gimmick is around Eddie, and using that to apply pressure and eventually get an unblockable off on you. Yeah. But I mean, like Sin and Raven aren't too setup-y.
Yeah, and I think Raven was one of the ones that I actually really enjoyed, playing with a lot when I made my foray into the game, albeit brief.
Yeah. Yeah, oh man, Raven. I think Raven's still my main. Yeah, he is. Took me a second because I'm like, do I like Answer enough to play it? No. As cool as Answer is, I'm still sticking with Raven for this game, especially because at Combo Breaker, Dogodo won with Raven over Bjorn, Son of Bears, who was a chip player. So I was pretty much happy that entire grand finals. I was like, yeah, I love both these characters.
Yeah, I think I might go back and see if I can find that fight, because that sounds like something I don't want to watch.
The top 8 for Guilty Gear was really good at Combo Breaker. Combo Breaker in general was really good. If you get a chance, just watch some of the top 8s, the grand finals is. But yeah. So one of the other, on top of, obviously the 2 new characters are kind of the big thing. But what really kind of excited me is that they added more to the sort of arcade mode of the game. I think they call it episode mode. And essentially it's the closest thing we're pretty much going to get to like Guilty Gear X2's type of story mode. Where, you go, you fight a character, you have some dialogue, you go have dialogue with another character, fight them, kind of rinse, repeat. They added episode modes for Jam, I think Coom, Raven, some of the new, like the DLC characters, Dizzy, I think also from Revelator. And I'm pretty sure Biken and Answer actually came with full episode modes or arcade modes, which which is nice that they added them, when they released rather than like a year later, as they did with the Revelator characters. but yeah, so that's exciting. I finally get to see what Jam was actually up to during the story of the game. Spoiler alert, she's basically trying to save money for her restaurant, which burned down again.
Yeah, about
Um,
right.
and yeah, there's other, basic stuff. I think, more music added to the game. Possibly, more character colors, little stuff like that. Um, so I guess if we're going to review it, sort of, insofar as we review things on this show, uh, if you're not super heavy, like if you play Revelator online, if you're a pretty like solid, like major Guilty Gear fan, definitely go out and pick it up. Everyone else is doing it. You want to do it too. You want to be trendy. You want to be hip. Um,
Need,
you want to
need a
be
setup.
cool. One of us. One of us.
Or if you need a setup to bring to fighting game tournaments to cut down your venue fee.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely worth it for like, the hardcore players. If you're a more casual fan of Guilty Gear, you can probably wait for like a flash sale or, Golden Week next year.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
that's what I like. I wish it was out before Golden Week this year, but because Golden Week is when I'm like, okay, what anime haven't I bought yet? This.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Like, it's definitely a good addition. There's a couple new characters, there's some new story mode content, but is it like super duper definitely $20 worth of stuff? I mean, it's only two characters, as far as the general, like value ratio goes. Normally, fighting game characters are like $5, $6, $7. If you're only getting it for the characters and like some of the updated like balance, well, I think the balance patch might be free.
Yeah, no, the balance patch was
regular.
free because it's like 6 gigabytes worth of a download.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're only getting, it's a little expensive to just get two characters. But if you're like a pretty big fan, if you either play, I mean, if you play online, you pretty much have to buy it because there again, everybody's going to be playing the new version. You got to keep up.
Right.
But if you're just kind of a casual fan of the game, maybe you only like the lore stuff, you play it for the story. As weird as that is to say, there are some of us out there who legitimately like fighting game stories. But yeah, if you're a more casual fan of Guilty Gear, you're just kind of interested in it, yeah, probably hold off for a sale. It doesn't add tons of stuff to Revelator overall, in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, I'm just glad fucking people are thinking about and playing Guilty Gear,
Right.
because I love that game. I admit it. I suck Ishiwatari's dick all day. Fucking get out of here with your Harada nonsense. Tekken. Fucking more like Dickin. There. I don't know. That's like my joke abort button now.
This joke's going south. This is just gonna say, toot. I literally just looked into the microphone like it was the camera, and I'm still doing it. God.
Yeah, thankfully I keep mine far enough to the side that like to look straight at it, I have to go all the way over here.
Right.
So you can see me in profile, see my the shape of my nose and the curl of my chin, and how fucking gross I am and need to shave.
I don't need to shave.
I mean, I guess I don't need to shave, but
Yeah, I need to go see like a barber and see if he can just kind of clean this up a little bit. It's not unkempt, but
it wouldn't hurt maybe to
trim off the ends.
Get a little trim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's me and fighting games are having a little bit of a break right now.
Yeah.
Like I I've come to the realization that one, I'm a casual player. Like I playing with people that are really good at the game is like, wow, this isn't fun for me. But like, playing with other casual players like me and my buddy Steve that we've been doing since the game station days, that's fun for me. Like, beating you and like, grabbing you shit. You was like, yeah, you son of a bitch. Like, like the old co-op kind of stuff. But
yeah.
My big thing with fighting games recently is I've been doing a lot of like going back and playing older fighters or newer fighters that like no one's playing. Like I've gotten really big into Super Turbo the last couple of months. I've recently discovered ways to emulate certain arcade hardware to play like random shit like the Rumble Fish.
Oh God.
And the Rumble Fish 2, which I sent to my buddy Jean, who's on the same wavelength in terms of random ass fighters.
So, isn't there like a movie called The Rumble Fish?
Yes, and it has nothing to do with the fighting game.
Okay, I remember like I googled that. I think Super Best Friends played Rumble Fish. The Rumble Fish. Apparently, the film is just called Rumble Fish. That sounds like a Harry Potter character's name. It's old Professor Rumblefish. Stepanus Rumblefish is going to teach you defense against the dark arts.
Stepanus Rumblefish. It's too long of a name, otherwise I'd say like I gotta say that for the next time we need to name a character for something, but that won't fit in any game that we will ever play. Like even Dark Souls 3 has a fucking limit.
Today in Ichthytic Taxonomy class, Stepanus Rumblefish will show you the proper way to disembowel a herpetologist. I'm just spitting out words now.
Oh, wow. Whew.
Oh, this might have to be a highlight reel.
That's gonna make it for sure. I do need to make like a like best of the first half of the year at the end of June. So
yeah,
that was fantastic. But like I went back and I played the Rumble Fish, and last time, like the one time I was actually able to make our local weekly, I just brought a whole bunch of obscure shit. We were playing Melty Blood.
Oh, nice.
And I discovered that on the Melty Blood Reddit, there is a Melty Blood community version. It's like a PC version that you can play online for free.
Nice. All right.
So
yeah, like Melty Blood, I want to say it's like available on like PS2, maybe.
There's
something,
two versions on PS2. And I want to say they made one for a PS3 that was like a weird download that flew so far under the radar, not even people that played the game realized.
Huh.
I'm gonna fact check that really quick.
Yeah, I have the Wikipedia page up.
Not tier list. Fuck you.
Yes.
Tier lists don't exist.
Oh my god, why are there so many versions? Okay, so it's on PC. There's Melty Blood, Actress Again, Current Code. Okay, so Current Code, which I think is the most recent by the looks of things. Yeah, I mean the original came out in 2002.
Yeah, because I remember when it came out, like my friend Steve and I are like really into importing games. So we're like, oh sweet, new anime fighter. Let's grab that, and we had some fun with it. And it was it never really...
I know it's definitely got a fan base.
Yeah, like our thing with it was we were always going into fighting games thinking that they were going to be as robust and as fun as the fun we had with Capcom versus SNK 2.
Oh, yeah.
So we still play that game when we get bored.
It's a great fucking game.
It is. And I am actually devising a way, because there is a certain program that you can play a certain game that I believe has net play. So, that might be a tech test later in the week.
All right.
In which case, that would be phenomenal because I want to play that for this channel. But if I'm not mistaken, developer French Bread later went on to publish the fluff. What was the name of the game? Under Night in Birth. Yeah.
They published Unio. I think they developed it too. I mean, it's definitely their kind of style.
And also, I didn't realize that they were the same company that did Dengeki Bunko Fighting Climax.
Oh, huh. What do you know? And also, apparently there's a version of Melty Blood on Steam. Let's see. I guess the most recent version, Actress Again, Code Current. Excuse me.
I'm going to search the store, actually, for that. In
fact,
Mitch is seeing it. The Hungry ones aren't.
Yeah, developed by French Bread. Oh, published by Arc System Works. Released April 19th of last year. Huh. I had no idea.
Weird.
Because, yeah, I remember, like, a few years ago even, Melty Blood was, like, this really sort of obscure... Like, I'd heard of it, but it was in those same weird sort of rarefied, like, obscure tones that people talk about, like, the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fighting games. Where I'm like, I don't even know what... Like, I thought they were the same game for a while. Like, years and years ago. Because I was just like, oh, here's a weird-looking anime fighter. Oh, here's another weird-looking anime fighter. I guess they're the same thing. Whatever. The same person posts about them on fucking MySpace, so... They just kind of ran together in my head. But, yeah, I know even up until as recently as a few years ago, it was a little hard to find, get your hands on. Wonder what this community version has. Let's see.
Let me see if
Steam
I can...
version.
Melty.
I'm not exactly seeing like an online. It's not jumping out saying online play. Single player, multiplayer, shared screen, controller support, deep lore. Oh, there is online. Okay.
Yeah, and well, the version that I ended up picking up is from the Melty Blood Reddit or subreddit. That's r/Melty Blood.
This is adorable. The system requirements on Steam: processor, Intel Celeron 440.
Wow. Compared, like, I
That's
saw
like
the
a
recommended
laptop processor.
I saw the recommended for Tekken, and I almost shit myself. I'm like, I need to upgrade.
Actually, I don't think I can't remember if I looked at the Tekken.
There's the
Let's
minimum,
see.
which I can make, but the recommended to make it look the way that the developers intended is steep. Well,
yeah,
for me, it feels
i5
steep.
4690. I think. Actually, hold on. If I can remember how to get there, because I have an i5 in this box. Okay, so yeah, mine runs right at 3.5 gigahertz, but it's I think a later generation than they're asking for. But that's still like, that's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah.
You know, a 3.5 gigahertz i5 is still a pretty, for gaming, it's a very beefy processor. 8 gigabytes of RAM, GeForce 1060 recommended. That's the one that's really like, wow, they aren't fucking around.
Yeah, like that's they're asking for like.
Although you can get away with a 660, which is the card I used to have 2 cards ago.
Yeah, like I'm still stuck with my 750 right now until I upgrade.
Yeah, like I can't even imagine this game running on. Well, I guess I can imagine it running on a 660, but I can't imagine it looking good on a 660. 750, I'd believe. The 750s still seem to run console ports pretty well.
Yeah.
With the current versions of like the PS4 and stuff, they're still very competitive.
I remember I had to run MKX in like 720p and like barely even at full screen to actually be able to play it. So that was my that and Fallout 4 were the two games that were like, all right, maybe I need to look into new parts.
Yeah. That is, again, to Tekken 7's credit, it runs at 1440p, which is nice. Because I have a 1440 monitor, and it's not like one of those things where it's up-resing from 1080 or anything. It actually runs on PC at the full resolution, which I'll admit, Guilty Gear, I think, tops out at 1080. Maybe. It's a little weird. I was playing Guilty Gear earlier today, and it's a little fuzzy around the edges. And I'm like, It doesn't specifically say I can run it at 2560 by 1440. It just goes 1080 full screen. Whatever full screen means. But yeah. Video games.
Video games. Munching quarters. All the fun things. That's going to bring us to the end of the news for the week, and this is another week we didn't really plan a gaming segment, and it's also pushing 1 a.m. here on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean,
we're going to bring the newsroom arcade to a close anyway.
Yeah. With the Tekken rant and all the labs there. We had a sort of good news week.
Which is rare in the weeks leading up to E3.
Yeah.
Again, that is coming up. I think our E3 special is going to be in 2 weeks.
Oh, man.
I'm going to post a challenge to our Twitter, which you can follow at Corner Munchers, and also on our Facebook and everything. Get us a certain number of likes, and I will do the entire E3 episode wearing a bro romper.
Oh, shit.
So I posted it to my personal Facebook, and it got some traction, but, yeah.
Yeah, it's getting real.
Rompers.
It's getting hot.
Yeah. So, with that, we are going to close the newsroom. What's that?
Oh, I just remembered, if you do that, I have to wear the onesie I've got sitting in the background there. I don't think I've shown the Hungry Ones this.
No, I haven't seen this either, so... Oh, what does he got?
The advantages of working at a print shop.
What the
Yeah. It's like an extreme Snuggie. It's got fucking leg sleeves, sleeves. It's got a hood. Fucking...
Outstanding.
This thing is legit.
Standing.
It's amazing. We were ordering stuff at work, just, like random shit, extra t-shirts. Because my dad, when we used to do t-shirts, he had a membership with, like, I think Sanmar is the company. They're a wholesaler for apparel, basically. Just blank shirts that we could screen print, people's shit on. Yeah. And we don't do t-shirts anymore, but we still, I guess the membership is just lifetime. Apparently no dues, because we keep it. And we were just leafing through the fucking catalog, and I saw that thing, and I'm like, I can do things with this.
Quarter Munchers onesies coming soon. Not really.
Yeah. But maybe. Dude, I would fucking... If we sold apparel with our logos on it, I would absolutely sell a onesie. Fuck it.
Shadow Payaso, if you're watching, we can get you a Quarter Munchers onesie whenever you want it.
Yeah.
Because he's shown up to tournaments wearing his Charizard onesie.
Oh, that's sick.
If I find a picture of it, I'll flash it up on the screen next week. But
yeah, if we the extra special thing, if we have to do our onesie romper episode, you're going to be comfortable and cool, and I'm going to die on camera.
It's very, very true. Because I
am going to melt.
Because, I mean, we've talked about how warm it gets in your room, and plus you're in fucking Reno, and it's the time of year where, what is it, like 7,000 degrees over there right now?
I mean, it hasn't been too bad these past few weeks. According to my phone, it's 71 right now. But, like, my room is solidly 10 degrees warmer than it is outside. And, yeah, the highs have been generally in the 80s. And it's only going up. So 2 weeks from now, it's probably going to be, even at broadcast time, like high 70s, pushing 80 degrees.
Just hook up a water cooler in your room and just like take sips of it.
Yeah, I'm going to be like a fucking NASCAR driver, just like melting. Just have like the fucking tank, into the helmet or the hood or whatever.
Yeah, just get the automotive the car-sized Camelback.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, make it happen, people.
Yeah.
Make me suffer.
Yes. We suffer for your love. Which, if you could please show us some love and slam that follow button down below, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube page, like, share, and subscribe our videos over there, and hit us on our social media outlets at Quarter Munchers on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until then, I am Johnny, and wait, who is it?
I am the only Mitch.
And who else? Play us out, Mitch. Play us out.
I gotta find the right patch. Hold on. Shit. Yes.
Which algorithm is it? Fuck.
Wait. I'm almost there. I think. Yeah, now we're talking.
Damn it, Hyacinth. Yes! Arcade is
Gotta
closed.
get those fucking horns.
Arcade is closed. Arcade is closed. Arcade is closed.